الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن وأحصوا العدة واتقوا الله ربكم لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا يخرجن إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة وتلك حدود الله ومن يتعد حدود الله فقد ظلم نفسه لا تدري لعل الله يحدث بعد ذلك أمرا فإذا بلغن أجلهن فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو فارقوهن بمعروف وأشهدوا ذوي عدل منكم وأقيموا الشهادة لله ذلكم يوعظ به من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه إن الله بالغ أمره قد جعل الله لكل شيء قدرا واللائي يئسن من المحيض من نسائكم إن ارتبتم فعدتهن 3 أشهر واللائي لم يحضن وأولاة الأحمال أجلهن أن يضعن حملهن ومن يتق الله يجعل له من أمره يسرا ذلك أمر الله أنزله إليكم ومن يتق الله يكفر عنه سيئاته ويعظم له أجرا أسكنوهن من حيث سكنتم من وجدكم ولا تضاروهن لتضيقوا عليهن وإن كن أولات حمل فأنفقوا عليهن حتى يضعن حملهن فإن أرضعن لكم فآتوهن أجورهن وأتمروا بينكم بمعروف وإن تعاسرتم فسترضع له أخرى لينفق ذو سعة من سعته ومن قدر عليه رزقه فلينفق مما آتاه الله لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما آتاها سيجعل الله بعد عسر يسرا وكأين من قرية
As the gender war rages on, in order to keep the peace, we must discuss. SubhanAllah. As the gender war rages on, in order to keep the peace, we must discuss the exact facts. Welcome to EX-FAKTLY. I'm your host, Saudi Ma'am. I apologize if I repeated myself. This mic is on mute, and it's hard to differentiate between the mute phase and the talk phase of this particular headphone. So anyway, remove your shoes into upon your right foot upon the right state of mind, bi'idhnillah. Topic: a black dress wedding versus a white dress funeral, or a black dress nikah versus a white dress janazah. I say this because for whatever particular reason it was, the kuffar donned certain colors in order to conduct certain of their rituals, whether they be religious rituals or social rituals. And for weddings, strangely enough, they don the white garb for weddings. So people started to think that this white garb, or this white dress specifically, was a symbol of purity or virginity. But we know that in latter times, maybe in earlier times, virgins were getting married, donning the white traditional dress. And but we definitely know in latter times that this is not the case. Women are in their masculine frame. They are doing something that men among the kuffar were more accustomed to do, which is to sleep around. So that white dress looked quite hypocritical if you equate it to virginity and or purity. Doing some research, you'll find that the white dress didn't necessarily represent virginity or purity, but by word of mouth, this is what the people commonly took it as. The color for purity or virginity, not necessarily virginity, but purity, was blue. I don't know if it was light blue, dark blue, navy blue, I'm not sure. Royal blue, I'm not sure. But it was blue. The color to be avoided, which they said had bad omens upon it. Okay, this is from the kuffar, so don't take it with as they say, a grain of salt. Green was the color that was considered to be avoided, that would cause, bad times or havoc within the marriage. Doing a little bit of delving into the origins of the color of dresses, I found out that historically, and this is from European history, European history. It's not something that that was in Asia, Africa, any place like that. This is mainly from the European point of view, because right now we're living in copying, as Muslims. Muslims are copying the mores and the behaviors of uh, the kuffar, basically. So this is why we're using these examples, these comparisons, because it's what we witness mostly in society. Now we'll get to the Islamic part soon, inshallah ta'ala. But nevertheless, so women would in European tradition wear just their best dress. Remember, there was no OxyClean or there was no uh, Clorox or anything like that, or Woolite to whiten clothes back then. So to wear a white dress, if it got stained, you may not be able to get the stain out. So white was not common to wear for those particular functions. But generally, people wore their best dress to the marriage. And of course, there's the issue with the kuffar with bridesmaids and how the bridesmaids have to match the color of the bride or have some type of variation, not quite the same as the bride's dress, and that comes from all kind of paganism and superstition about different things being incognito among spirits. It even came from the tradition of how wives were kidnapped, and that the bridesmaids would wear similar dress of the brides in order to confuse people that would come in and try to kidnap the bride at that particular time, because this will be the bride would be a woman of affluence financially, so they would kidnap that bride and hold that bride for ransom. There's all kind of different crazy traditions with these kuffar, these European kuffar, what have you. But past that, in this modern day and time, the white dress is signifying some type of purity or innocence, even virginity. Okay. So, and because of modern time, because I call it the hypocritical white dress, because this is another deception that we men are suffering uh, from. And this white dress is not as it appears or seems to be as supposed to be. Okay. We're not getting the white dress quality of chastity. We're not getting the white dress quality of purity. We're definitely not getting, in most cases, the white dress quality of virginity. Women are coming with package deals. Women are venturing out in their masculine frame, behaving promiscuous, which is common for kuffar men, and they are having fun babies and all the different types of things. And then later on in their late 20s, mid 30s, or even beyond that, they are quote unquote coming to Jesus, coming to their senses, and saying, hey, I need to settle down and find a husband. But just as many people in the red pill community or the manosphere would say that, you know, all of the energy and the fun of making those children are not enjoyed by the man that comes along as the hero. Usually, these low quality, uh, low, these men of low aesthetics, in all reality, are making these babies with these women. They are not sticking around. The women are not sticking around with them. And then they find the white knight or the savior to take care of them and the children, or the child or children that they carry with them. And now they're looking for a husband. You'll see it all the time. I got three children by three different baby daddies. They all sell drugs, or they all gang bang, or they all this or that, or they all are bums. They all are, whatever the scenario is. And then after that, what happens? Now I'm looking for a husband. Now I'm looking for a husband. And the husband they're looking for is way higher quality than the man they gave a child to, of higher quality than the man they gave a whole child to, right? So he comes along as the hero. What happens? Okay, I'll marry you. I'm going to go ahead and simp it out. You know what I'm saying? I'll marry you. And then the wedding comes, and what does she put on? The white dress. And she wants to walk down the aisle, and she wants to be treated like a make-believe princess out of a children's book. This is what she wants. And it's all a fake, it's all a facade, and that one special day to take all those special pictures. But what after that? She, as someone stated, this actually was a Christian man, some Kafir man was saying that dating is just practice for divorce. You sit with someone at a meal or a couple of meals, and you find that thing with them, that red flag or that thing with them that makes you not want to spend any more time after that with them. You say this is just a training field for divorce. Just training for divorce. So you get with a woman, you marry her, and then you find that thing that you don't like about her. So what do? You divorce her. See, it's why people shouldn't date. And this is coming from a Catholic, because dating is training for divorce. Training you to nitpick at characteristics instead of learning to deal with them or work through them. Nevertheless, so she wants to walk down the aisle and have that fairy tale moment, but all the dudes before you, all those bodies before you, were not required to do so. So here you come riding on your white horse. You are the white knight, and she puts on the white dress. I advocate black dress nikah for women that are not virgins. Black dress nikah. Now, why am I saying that? Because I've had so many arguments and discussions with Muslims about how we are conducting marriages, nikah, like that of the kuffar. See, Islamically, the nikah is just a contract. It's non-ceremonial. It's just a contract. It's the aqd zawaj, signing of the marital agreement, the marital contract. And after the consummation comes the walima. The walima is the big deal. It is the celebration. It is where you would bring gifts. If they want to bring gifts for the couple, this is where they would, provide food for the guests, like, quote unquote, the so-called reception. The walima is the big deal after consummation. But what we do, we follow the kuffar shibran bi shibrin, wa dira'an bi dira'in, step by step and inch by inch. We followed them so closely, and our weddings are starting to resemble and reflect their weddings. That's what we're seeing. So, so when I say there should be black dress weddings for women that are not virgins, it's not to confuse the two. Now let's go and discuss the black dress. Black at funerals was for what purpose? They said in that scenario, those events, or in that area of the graveyard or what have you, is where evil spirits would lurk. This is from the kuffar, okay? Not based on any haq. It's all their superstition. Their superstition. So evil spirits would lurk. So you would don black in order to blend in with those quote unquote evil spirits. It was also considered a color of mourning, okay? So that's why we're saying that black dress nikah. Why? Because it more than likely becomes an occasion for mourning. If she doesn't qualify for the white dress, then the black dress seems the only viable alternative. Letting that man know that you are assuming responsibility where no one else would, where no one else was required to step up and to dignify her. You are the chosen one. You must dignify the package. Not her. You must dignify the package. I'm going to find y'all a daddy. Are you my new daddy? What the kids say? Are you my new daddy? It was a one girl from Philly. Here I go with Philly again. One girl from Philly had, she called herself a Muslim. She had a bull dagger girlfriend, had her two kids at that time calling the bull dagger daddy. So that they lay down with these randoms. This is not all. If it don't apply, let it fly. They lay down with these randoms. Don't require any wedding ring. Don't require any wedding ceremony. Don't require two witnesses. Don't require wild kill. Don't require anything from these randoms. Even if they get a bull dagger, don't require anything from them. You know, and then after they have an epiphany, excuse me, they do what? They say that now I am ready to get married. One woman says she's stingy. I'm stingy. Oh no, you got a whole child or children. You're not stingy. You are less desirable now, later in age, yet your requirements become more stringent. Your requirements become more detailed. Your requirements become more taxing. Your requirements become harder to achieve, or to realize. So this is what happens. So it is better to have a black dress, figurative speech, right? A black dress nikah, because you have found the prize. You found a man that would dignify the package when no other man would. And the janazah is where you get the redo. The janazah is where you get to start over. The janazah is where you get a clean slate. You get a clean slate for the akhirah. Okay? If Allah finds you, worthy of al-Jannah, the paradise, heaven, then you get a clean slate for that. So it's better that you go into that white. It's better that you go into your janazah wearing that white dress, that fairy tale, because you actually can pre-lay out, like the first day of school, you will lay out your clothes on the bed before school. You can actually lay out the garment you would like to be buried in, before you pass away. 100 years before you die, you can lay out your garment. This is allowed. So lay out that white wedding dress that you so much desired as a child, even that you required no man to accomplish for you, but you gave your most sacred of orifices to him freely with no responsibility. But then that one man came along that had some seriousness about him, and you told him, "Oh, I'm born again. I'm born again, stingy. I'm going to require from you what I didn't require from the men that impregnated me. And I can no longer have children. So, we're done there. Mommy, is that my new daddy? We'll see. I got standards now, 3, 4, 5 kids later. Black dress nikah. Because a lot of these situations, there is no benefit for the man. There's no benefit for the man. SubhanAllah, this is among the kuffar mainly, but when men get married in certain situations, their friends are like, their close friends are like, wow, bruh, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like a funeral to me. I mean, this is honest. There are men that hang in groups, whether they're fraternity or whatever, they require of their brethren or their close friends, man, look, nah, we ain't marrying her, bro. Oh man, but I like her, man. You ain't finna marry that girl, man. They actually will stand up and show out if one of their brethren sought to go into a situation like that. It's a lose-lose. It's a lose-lose. You can't count sexual relations as a win because that can come from any quarter. That can come from any quarter. It's a lose-lose. It's almost like his funeral. Some of us can look back, we can hearken back and pinpoint where People have gotten engaged and then got married. The whole time their whole family was against it. What that does, it fuses those people together when family are against it. Their friends were against it. It tends to fuse people together. You know, it's a bond of it's an emotional bond. It's a bond of interest. It's almost patriotic, you know, except it's not dealing with the state level. But because of the outside resistance, it fuses these two people closer together. Because of all the negativity and all of the pushback, you know what I'm saying, and all of the opposition. Black dress nikah, because they see this man, I wouldn't do that, bro. I wouldn't do that. If you are 50, 60 years old, if you focus on yourself and got yourself together, you have quite a large pick from among women that don't come with too much, with men having too much knowledge of them. You have a larger pick, you know, especially if y'all don't have children together and you're accepting children and she is past the age, or, you know, she had 2, 3 children and she got snip, snip, cut, cut, burn, burn, you know, and then, you know, I can't have any more children, or I went through this difficulty and I had to go through this surgery and I can't have any more children. So she can't give you any children. Not that you should even add to that situation, but you are acting as a white knight. You're acting as a hero, and you're going against what your brethren are suggesting. You're going against what your family are suggesting, and they are saying that you really could do better. Now, y'all don't know her like I do. I love her. She has these wonderful kids. If those kids are so wonderful, where are the fathers? If she is so wonderful, where's the dudes? Again, let me back up and say, let me reiterate, this is not about everybody. It's about the ones it applies to. We know for a fact, I've been involved in it. I've seen other people involved in weddings where the woman should have walked in with a black dress like she was attending a Catholic funeral, in order to make that man snap and say, what's going on here? Where's the white dress? Where's the fairy tale? No, the reality. The reality. When Allah says, Al-Hakumu Takathur Hatta Zurtumu Maqabir, I'm saying, the good of this life that distracts you, you know what I'm saying, from the more serious things until you visit the qabr, until you visit the graves. And the ulama had at least 2 different interpretations I know about. One is that life distracts you until you die. Life distracts you from the more serious things until you die, or life distracts you from the more serious things until you visit a grave as it attends someone else's janazah. So you can get distracted by how fine she is and how, you know, well mannered the children you know, appear to be, so on and so forth. Well, where is the dude for these well-mannered children? Where is that previous dude? Where is that previous dude that left this woman that is so wonderful? You know, and you'll get a lot of horror stories. Oh, he was so terrible. He was this, he was that, and you almost about to cry. You ain't even talked to that dude. All of a sudden, you don't even like him. You see him at an amusement park or see him at the supermarket, you don't even like him, even to the point where he bet not say nothing. I hit him in his mouth. You all emotional. You all in your feminine frame because that woman told you something about that man. That man was good enough to have a whole baby by. That man was good enough to get in a dying cockroach position and let him enter her most valuable orifice. That man was good enough for that. But he wasn't good enough to marry. But you're going to marry because you're good enough to marry. Now you're coming on the back end. You're cleaning up. You're cleaning up. You're cleaning up all of the madness and the mess that preceded you. And I applaud you, Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. I applaud you for that. But what about you? If, you know, the kuffar have a tradition where you don't see the bride. I'm saying kuffar because I've seen Muslim weddings online, and I don't attend those types of weddings, but I'm saying I've seen Muslim weddings online, and it looks like the kuffar. So since we're following the kuffar step by step and inch by inch. I'm going with the kuffar scenario. Imagine you're standing, waiting on her to walk down the aisle, which Muslims are doing. And she comes out in that black veiled dress. That black dress with the black veil, and she's walking down with those black gloves, and you look and you like, Ya Allah, is this a funeral? You might make you snap back into reality. Save that white dress for the janazah. Save that white dress for the janazah. Because if you are honest with that man, saying, look, I didn't require anything from the dudes that had me, in the dying cockroach position, with no responsibility. I required nothing from them. But I had an epiphany that said I should really start valuing myself 2-3 kids later. And I should be stingy with this next man. And I should require that he step up to the plate and marry me before I do anything special with him. And that's that next man. So what's in it for him? All responsibility. You say, but brother, think about the blessings. She should have thought about the blessings of being with the father of her children. Well, he was abusive. He was this, he was that. Well, I ain't speak to that man. I did not speak to that man. I did not get his side of the story. So I'm going to refrain from that. Is it okay if I speak with him? Why you want to speak with him? I mean, you don't believe me? Oh, that's a big red flag. That flag is burgundy. That flag right there is burgundy. It's not equal, which is an upcoming topic. It's not equal whether a woman wants to speak to the ex-wives versus the man wanting to speak to the ex-husband or the ex-boyfriend or whatever. That is not equal. We'll discuss that in another time. Black dress nikah versus white dress janazah. That's my take on it. Tell me what you think, inshallah, in the comments. And if we, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, his sister Khadija, your son is here. He's in the other room. Subhanallah. At Yusuf's office. So, yes, I think I'll bring that topic up next, inshallah ta'ala, next week. And see where that takes us. But I don't have the red kufi on today. It's not for aesthetics. Nothing special going on. I plain forgot to put it on. But this has been Saudi Ma'am for EX-FAKTLY. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.